Hey everyone, it's PC World again from Lenovo's booth at CES 2019, and here we're taking a look at a couple of more consumer-oriented notebooks. We've got the Yoga S940, and over here on the left we've got the Yoga C730 with a special AMOLED screen.
Whoa, nice.
It is, it's a beautiful machine. I thought we're going to start first though with the Yoga S940. Now the Yoga S940 has a couple of things both from a physical and from a software perspective that make it a little bit unusual. The first one is actually the fact that it's got a little bit different display, and it's got something that they call contour glass. Looks a little bit like a smartphone. If you zoom in really close there, you can see the glass kind of wraps around the edge of the display. Isn't that pretty?
That is nice.
It is, yeah. And in fact, it doesn't do anything functionally, but it does look aesthetically. It looks really, really nice. Now, this particular machine, or this particular display, I should say, is either a 1920 by 1080, but it does go all the way up to 3840 by 2400. Now, this is again a consumer display. Sorry, it's a 13.9-inch display as well. Now this is actually going to be shipping in May for $14.99, so it's actually quite affordably priced. And there's one more thing that I really think is really cool about this particular machine, and this is in fact part of the software package that Lenovo includes. Now we can't actually see that because it's not actually enabled right now, but this is something that Lenovo calls Smart Assist, and in fact it's actually a software package from Mirametrix called Glance. But what this does is it actually uses not exactly eye tracking, but sort of face tracking to do a couple of interesting things. Now, if you followed PC World in the past, you probably are familiar with a company called Tobii. And Tobii does eye tracking. They have a little bar in front of the PC or laptop, and it actually sends infrared beams into your eyes. And it's designed as sort of an eye mouse. It really is designed to sort of, you look, the computer jumps or teleports the cursor to where you're looking. What they're doing here is a little bit more coarse, but it's also a little bit more useful. What Tobii doesn't do, at least through now, is it doesn't actually allow you to sort of jump the cursor from one monitor to the next. This does, which is actually pretty cool, because if you have a big, huge monitor and a big, huge monitor next to you, and you're sort of hauling the mouse back and forth, now you can go ahead and look at another screen, wiggle the mouse, and the cursor jumps to it.
Oh, huh.
Now there's a couple other things it does too. Now it does presence detect, which is what Tobii does as well too. But if you're in a coffee shop, for example, and you're sort of sitting down and working, and then you get distracted, your coffee is ready, for example, you can stand up, walk away, and the display will notice that you're not there and blank or lock the screen. So this is really designed for, again, sort of consumers who are working in various environments and might have to jump back and forth between sort of a business environment or a work environment. But again, it's a good feature for something that's sort of out in the public. There's a couple of other things that it does as well. If you are in a video call, it can actually blur the background. So you can see, for example, it has Lenovo and Intel and some of the other things behind me as well. But if you're in a video call, maybe that stuff's distracting. So it will go ahead, what it'll do is it'll automatically blur that background and sort of make you the focus. It'll actually also do the same thing with the audio as well. They've got 4 mics sort of on top here, sort of scattered around. This is actually sort of common to some of the other ThinkPad designs as well, and those mics will actually serve to filter out background noise and make you easier to hear in a video call.
Nice.
Yeah, so this is actually, there's a final thing too, and I don't know too much about it, but supposedly there's actually some technology in here that'll actually understand how you're working. So if you're working with a high performance application, of course Windows will sort of scale it up, but it sort of just will sort of automatically recognize that you are a high-performance user, scale up the CPU, or conversely, scale it down to maximize battery life. Again, I'm not really sure how it works, but it sounds great in concept. Now, otherwise, we're seeing 8th generation core processors in here, Whiskey Lake specifically. And again, sort of a mixture of things you'd normally expect to see in a laptop. 8 to 16 gigs of memory, up to 1 terabyte of PCI Express SSDs, and your complement of ports. Oops, there we go, not much on there, but we've got a couple of USB-C and specifically Thunderbolt 3 ports on this. Lenovo's made the wholesale switch to Thunderbolt 3 and USB-C, which honestly, I would be a little bit more critical a year ago, but now looks sort of right on time. So that happens to be the Yoga S940. Now, there's not a whole lot to say about this next machine, but just look at the display. This is the Yoga C730 with AMOLED, and boy, AMOLED is just one display technology that if you have a chance to use and have a chance to own, highly recommend it. So one of the things that LED displays do is that even in a dark screen or a dark environment, it's still going to sort of blast light out of the display. What AMOLED does is it actually reduces the amount of light coming out of the display, and that helps create deeper blacks in scenes that actually have it. This is, again, the Yoga C730. It's going to be priced at $1,649 and to be released in May. Unfortunately, we were just told that it may not come to the US. The plan of record right now from Lenovo, and hopefully this changes, is that it will not be released in the United States. However, plans change.
I hope so.
And hopefully it will, because again, AMOLED screen, we want to see it. So brief rundown of the specs: 15.6 inches on that screen. That's a big, huge screen. It goes all the way up to 3840 by 2160. 16 gigs of DDR4, 512 gigs of PCI Express SSD. Also has Dolby Atmos, also has Thunderbolt 3, and weighs in at 4.16 pounds. So what we've seen here are two really lovely Yoga machines from Lenovo. We expect to see more from Lenovo as well as other manufacturers, so please keep tuning in to PCWorld.com as well as PC World's YouTube channel. Thanks so much.